5 living tools. Jeez, why do they require so many living tools? Yeah, that is annoying. I really hate when NPCs stand next to those. Let's see. Hall of Travelers, Leader Pixley. Ah! Pixley was mentioned. This guy may know where to find a boat. You meet a relatively happy servile, good-natured despite the horrors that surround her. When you approach, she switches from happiness to ecstasy. The Shaper! Visiting me! I am honored! I am Pixley, the leader of the travelers, ones who move things about, who roam the whole isle, sometimes to aid the Shapers, sometimes for ourselves. It is the greatest honor to meet a Shaper at last. Oh, this is actually one of the 2 people we were told to contact. I have a message from Cole and Vikiri. He wants to resume trade with you. Before we arrived, I would have said it would be futile, but you have done much to clear the route between here and there. Tell Cole that I will do my best to begin sending goods there. He must be patient, though. It will take time. There is still much danger on the roads. You travel around? My ancestors were the ones who moved supplies around for the Shapers. We do the same thing now, keeping the routes of travel clear so that we may serve your kind in the same way when you return. But since you have been traveling, you must know how dangerous our task is. Tell me what lies east of here. First, there is a river, spanned by 2 bridges, crumbling but intact. Then heavy woods. You will find many rogue creations, but servile outposts as well. Some of them will aid you. Then the deadly area of Kazg, swarming with takers. Then a few jagged, rocky peaks, and then water again. Tell me what lies north of here. Desolate wastes, with rogues and little elves. Beware that area, Shaper. Not even my folk travel up there. What has made things especially dangerous? That is an easy one. It's the bridges. The river to the east is spanned by 2 bridges, and they're both blocked. They're guarded by monsters and such. I have lost 2 travelers there, both killed. It is a sort of horrible thing we have been hoping the Shapers would rescue us from. If you were able to clear one of the bridges for us, we would be so thankful. What could be more important than hearing the words of a Shaper? I have waited my whole life to serve one in person, after all. I wish to find a boat. In your travels, have you ever seen one? I wish I could meet your every need, Shaper, but I have never seen a boat. But one of my travelers told me that she saw a ship recently near the shore south of here. She tells you how many days ago. Coincidentally, it was the same day you were attacked and swam to this island. She was traveling through the tombs. To get there, go south through the Pentil woods and then east. If you explore the shore, you might find something. Finally! We have a clue as to where a boat is. Although, from the sound of things, it might actually just have been the boat that attacked us. We may be lucky, it may be a boat. But still. And tombs? That'll be interesting to see. Ah, orcs. Oh, that was not very useful. Let's see. Ah, these must be personal rooms. Yes, these must be the rooms of individuals or something. It makes sense. Nobody there to see us. Besides, they'd be honored to give us their things so that they can help the Shapers. Ah, random servile, nothing to say. Sorry about the silence. Let's see, and in here... Venom thorns and gemstones. And... just a random servile there, and it's quite a lot of coin, but we'll leave it to that servile. Sign says, always be thinking of the true will. This is interesting. Several serviles have set up stands in this courtyard. Though the dangerous creatures plaguing the countryside have dramatically reduced commerce, you suspect that once a lot of trade took place here. The merchant looks up at you. Strangely, though the serviles seem to worship you, this merchant looks very uncomfortable. Greetings, mighty Shaper. I am honored that you have found the time to inspect my humble wares. I hope that you will forgive me, but times are very tight, and I must ask much more for my goods than I would like to. How has trade been lately? Oh, Shaper, it has been terrible. Since those horrible monsters started roaming everywhere, it has been so dangerous. We have been unable to scavenge for Shaper artifacts, and we have not been able to carry goods between settlements. If only one of the bridges to the east were clear, life would be much easier. Hopefully someone will come and help us in our time of need. The servile looks at you hopefully. Oh, this one has pods and living tools. Well, we can sell these. And those. Oh, darn it! It's a fiery wand. We already got one. The 2 gemstones. Sword and sword. Okay, I think that's everything we need to sell. Another merchant, this one with food. Okay, we don't need any food. That one looks like he has weapons. Yeah, let's take a look at what he's got. Yeah, weapons. Steel gauntlets. Yeah, nothing we really need. Submission thorns. I don't know what those do. I think they basically stun. Yeah, no matter. Moving on. What you find in this library is simultaneously impressive and pitiful. This place is a monument to the servile's worship of the Shapers. The shelves here are filled with scrolls. You pick up one and inspect it, and then another. They are records, bureaucratic notes of the colony here before it was abandoned. They aren't the originals, though. They are copies, painstakingly made and kept legible by the servile scribes in case the Shapers ever returned. The records are worthless, though. Whatever information they contained has been rendered obsolete and useless by years of abandonment. So much time was wasted here just because the serviles thought your people might wish it. That is depressing. The serviles worship and honor us deeply, and they do all this effort, and it's all effectively for naught. Why don't you close? There. Shaper records. Need a living tool. Shaper records. That's probably all that's in any of those. At last you mean a servile who is doing a proper servile act. Serviles are generally used for record keeping and other less physically taxing jobs. They are too smart to be used for farming and too weak for fighting. This female shows you the respect and awe that seems the norm here. Shaper, you inspect us at last. I am Dana. Welcome to the Records Hall. I maintain it and train other serviles to maintain it. I hope it meets with your approval. Maybe we can get some information. You keep records? Do you know much about the history of Sucia Island? Very little. The records are... well, we don't really understand them, but I have gathered a little bit of knowledge. Do you know anything about the canisters I've been finding? They seem to be changing me. I know that they were discovered here. I have records of their construction and use. They are capable of rewriting the very code of life hidden deep within your being. The Shapers then stopped making them suddenly and fled the island. I do not know why. Shaper, you have been using them, haven't you? Though I have never seen one of you, you look strange to me. She fetches an old mirror, worn and cracked, and shows you your face. She is right. You have changed. There is a cold look in your eyes, and you think you can see a faint glow underneath your skin. Very strange. So they're rewriting the very code of my being. These are powerful, and they do sound dangerous. Why would they stop, though? I mean, considering the amount of power the Shapers would want, why would they toss something like this out the window? Do you know why this island was barred, or what it was used for? Records tell us that huge amounts of supplies were moved around here, and many, many Shapers came and left. The most important Shapers were Defniel, Karata, and Dinette. What they were doing and why they left, I have no idea. I am so sorry. I can tell you, though, who keeps the good records. His name is Toivo. He is a foul taker in Kazg. He jealously guards the most valuable records of the Shapers, even the locations of their most useful artifacts. To learn more, find him. We did hear the name Daphniel. In the Shaper Academy, we found records from Daphniel, and we know he was there, but we don't know much. All we know is he was in favor of sharing and continuing the research that was going on here. Karada and Danette? Those are names we'll have to keep an eye out for. Dana looks around the hall nervously while she speaks with you, certainly constantly looking for anything amiss which might displease you. Yes? What else? What sort of records are stored here? My ancestors were charged by the Shapers to keep the records of affairs on this isle, and for years we have done that. It has been difficult pulling people away from hunting and farming, but we have always trained more to keep these records. Sometimes they have rotted and been damaged, and we have recopied them. I am sure everything here is intact and as the Shapers would wish it. I hope our work pleases you. Is there any way I can help keep the records? You are kind, Shaper. Many old books of records have been lost over the years. Some to the west, some to the north, many around Kazg. We have tried to find and preserve them, but with little luck. The more such records you can bring me, if you find any at all, the better we can serve you. You know, they are serviles, and it would be nice for her to heal this, but you know what? Much as I'd like to choose one of those options, there's really nothing good I can say. I'd like to say that it was nice of you to keep all these records, and there is some good information in there, some useful information, but a lot of it is bureaucratic and outdated at this point and useless. I'd like to say, yes, thank you. What you've done, it really helped. It's always good to preserve history. But the only choice here is between always do what the Shapers say, even if it doesn't make sense, and you're insane, stop doing this. I hate when you only have two choices and there's no middle ground. This is in all games. Even though it doesn't happen as often here, I hate when it puts you into a this or that situation. I'm just going to ignore it and close the window. There's not much else I can say. We do have a new quest, though. Specifically, give Shaper records, which we have. This book is filled with bureaucratic trivia about the colony here. Nothing of interest to you. You aren't sure who might find it useful. Actually, I am sure who might find it useful. We shall bring them to Dana. I have found some old Shaper records. Thank you, Shaper. We will catalog and restore these precious documents. Since you left, we have gathered up some meager payment for your kind help. And we get some coins and a small, tiny, itty-bitty bit of experience. Well, after that depressing area, Hall of Woodsman, Leader Godwin. Let's see what's in here. Wow, this is a big area. What the hell was this room before the Shapers left?